Tonight we're going to be looking at the brand new reveal from Deck Build Pack Glorious Victors, the brand new Xenovader Delta archetype. And it's going to be very interesting because it's based around banishing cards from your own deck face down and interacting with your banished face down cards to gain advantage, along with stopping the opponent from doing specific things depending on what banished face down amount you have. So let's take a look at the Xenovader Delta archetype and let's get right into it. Now, this is the archetype that I was super excited for. And then once I started to read it, I just started to piece together that it became another Grand Maju deck. So let's look at them and let's talk about them. So this is the main reason why Mind Master was reprinted in the OCG and errated, because it's one of your main starters for the deck, because you could get to tribute it off to special summon Xenovader Delta of Emptiness Gehenna. It is a level 1 Dark Psychic effect monster with 100 attack and 1000 defense, and you can only use this card's names first and third effect once per turn each. If you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normaled or special summoned, you banish face down the top card of your deck, and during the main phase, you can add up to 2 of your face down banished Xenovader Delta monsters with different names to your hand, except Xenovader Delta of Emptiness Gehenna. Also, you cannot activate cards or effects for the rest of the turn except Xenovader Delta card or effects. Overall, this is the main goal of the deck, being able to banish your cards face down so you can cycle them back to your hand, which is honestly really good, but realistically, I think this gimmick is going to be super weird overall. Next up, we have the Xenovader Delta Sky Shoal. It is a level 2 light psychic effect monster with 1200 attack and 200 defense, and you can only use this card's names first and third effect once per turn each. If you control a Xenovader Delta monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normal or special summoned, you banish face down the top 2 cards of your deck, and during your main phase, you can add up to 2 of your face down banished Xenovader Delta spell or trap cards with different names to your hand. Also, you cannot activate card or effects for the rest of the turn except Xenovader Delta cards or effects. So already we have a way to recycle the monsters and also the spell cards, which is really good, and I think they alternate between what levels they are, and just being able to have a free special summon is always good. Next up, we have the Xenovader Delta of Blue Tunella. It is a level 3 water psychic effect monster with 300 attack and 2000 defense, and you can only use this card's names first and third effect once per turn each. If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if this card is normal to special summon, you can banish face down the top 3 cards of your deck, and during the main phase, you could special summon one of your face down banished level 5 or higher Xenovader Delta monsters. Also, you cannot activate cards or effects for the rest of this turn except Xenovader Delta cards or effects. So being able to banish the top 3 is pretty good, and they banish depending on what the level they are, which is honestly a really neat part of the gimmick, but I still don't really see much of this deck doing anything. Now, outside of having the incredible Ecclesia effect that just special summons it from the hand if your opponent has more monsters, is really good, especially if you open up it and also Emptiness Gehenna. So if you go with those two, special out Gehenna and then special out this, and you're banishing 4 cards instantly. Now, after that, we're going to be looking at the Xenovader Delta of Scarlet Naraka. It is a level 4 fire psychic effect monster with 1700 attack and 400 defense, and you can only use this card's first and third names effect once per turn each. And if your opponent special summons a monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normal or special summon, banish face down the top 4 cards of your deck. During your main phase, or during your opponent's main phase, quick effect, you can special summon one of your face down banished level 5 or higher Xenovader Delta monsters. Also, you cannot activate cards or effects for the rest of this turn except Xenovader Delta cards or effects. So this is the one that allows you to have a hand trap like card for the opponent's turn. Overall, it's very interesting, and it can cause a lot of interesting situations in the actual game state, but realistically, just being able to get any of your level 5 or higher out of the deck is really, or out of the banished zone, is really good. Now, after that, we have the Sky Thunder Xenovader Delta Yomi. It is a level 5 light psychic effect monster with 1000 attack and 2500 defense, and you can only use this card's names first and second, or the first effect, once per turn. You could reveal this card in your hand, banish your face down, and if you do, add one of your face down banished Xenovader card Delta to your hand except a level 5 monster. If this card is normal or special summon, banish face down the top 5 cards of your deck, and once per turn when your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you could shuffle one of your face down banish Xenovader Delta monsters with the same attribute into the deck, and if you do, negate the activation. So far we have had every single attribute revealed, being dark, light, fire, water, another light, and we also have earth and wind, so we have every attribute under the sun. And honestly, just being able to have a negation is really good, but it doesn't destroy, which is honestly fine. So overall, it's a good card. It's a good card. After that, we have the Burial Summit Xenovader Delta Helheim. It is a level 6 Earth Psychic effect monster with 2400 attack and 1200 defense, and you can only use this card's name's first effect once per turn. And this card says during the main phase quick effect, you could reveal this card in your hand, banish it face down, and if you do, special summon one of your banished Xenovader monsters that are banished face down, except the level 6 monsters. So it just shares the same the first effect with the level 5, which is absolutely, it's fine. And if this card is normaled or special summoned, banish face down the top 6 cards of your deck, and other Xenovader Delta cards you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's effects. Also, your opponent cannot target them with card effects, so being able to have targeting protection and also just destruction protection is absolutely crazy, especially on a level 6 body like itself. Next up, outside of that, we are going to be going on to the next one, being Mad Tempest Xenovader Delta Plutonian. It is a level 7 wind psychic effect monster with 2100 attack and 2800 defense, and you can only use this card's name's first effect once per turn. Quick effect, you could reveal this card and one other Xenovader Delta card in your hand, banish both face down, and if you do, draw 2 cards. So you could just use that in draw phase. That's quite lovely. If this card is normal or special summon, banish face down the top 7 cards of your deck, and once per turn, quick effect, you can shuffle one of your face down banished Xenovader monsters into the deck. Then you can shuffle one monster your opponent controls with the same attribute into the deck. So having a free removal is really useful because it's good against any type of deck, since you do have access to all 6 attributes, and in my honest opinion, this is one of the better ones, just being able to draw 2 cards. So it is hand trap bait with Ash Blossom Joyspring and even other cards as well. This deck plays around Call by the Grave extremely well. On top of that, it's going to be really hard to hand trap outside of having cards like Artifact Lancia, and if you run trap cards, Imperial Iron Wall maybe. So overall, so far, so good. Now, next up, we do have the big boss monster here, being Emptiness Devouring Xenovader Delta Jahannam. It is a level 6 Dark Psychic effect monster with 3000 attack and 2400 defense, and if this card is normaled or special summoned, banish face down the top 8 cards of your deck. It gains these effects based on the total number of face down banished cards. 10 or more, cannot be destroyed by battle. 20 or more, once per turn, quick effect, you could target one card on the field, destroy it. 30 or more, once per turn during your opponent's end phase, you can add one of your face down banished cards to your hand, and 40 plus, skip both players' draw phase. So this deck's main plan is to have you at 0 cards and your opponent has whatever, and you just have this out on the board with 40 plus banished cards, no one draws, and then also on top of that, you get to add cards from your banishment to your hand constantly, which is honestly really powerful, and just being able to destroy cards on the field is absolutely insane. So I see cards like Macrocosmos being ran, and we just got Chaos Distill as well, so that could tie in quite well with this, being able to place it so your cards get banished face up, even though that they needed to be face down. But sometimes you have to win some and lose some with that. But overall, this boss monster seems really easy just to have on the field and just have it there and just build up into that 40 plus. But realistically, it's a very heavy gimmick, and this is probably just going to be a one-of. And now let's get into the spell and trap card. So we have the Xenovader Delta Territory Valvulse. It is a field spell card, and activate this card by banishing face down 5 cards from your graveyard and or top of your deck. So this is why I said that you could potentially run things like, you have Macrocosmos if you really need, but realistically, just being able to banish face down 5 cards from your graveyard or top of the deck is really good, and you can only use each of this card's name's first effect once per turn. So during your main phase, you can add one of your face down banished Xenovader cards to your hand except a copy of itself, and your opponent cannot activate cards or effects during your turn while you control a level 5 or higher Xenovader monster and you have no cards in your deck. So this card says that if you have no cards, your opponent can't do anything on your turn and you're free to do whatever you want. Now, one of the things I do want to say is that right now, the only thing that this whole entire deck loses to happens to be a Book of Eclipse, flipping everything face down. so they lose out on a lot of the powerful effects. So in my honest opinion, Book of Eclipse is going to be one of the best counters to this whole entire strategy. And finally, we have the trap card being Xenovader Judgment. So this is the continuous trap card for the deck, and if your opponent normals or special summons a monster, you can target one of them, choose one of your face down, banish Xenovader Delta monsters with the same attribute, and either add it to your hand or special summon it. Also, for the rest of the turn, you cannot choose the same attribute again with this effect of this card's name, and you cannot activate cards or effects except Xenovader cards and effects. And once per battle, during damage calculation, if your Xenovader Delta monster battles an opponent's monster and you have no cards in your deck, you can make that opponent's monster's attack become 0. This is a really powerful type of effect that allows you to swarm your board with all your names, and we can see that happening in the actual artwork itself. Now, in my honest opinion, this is a really kind of saddening deck already, because it's just, oh, let me banish all my cards to get a towers out that just loses to specific cards that forces a draw. So overall, right now, I'm not too sure how I feel about this, but we do have some reprints being Gizmek Orochi, Eater of Millions, Pot of Desires, and even Small World. Now, overall, I definitely think that this whole entire deck could pivot, or it's all in the balance of the one last card that we don't know, which is going to be either a spell card or a trap card. But realistically, I was very excited for this deck, and then once I started reading the effects, I started getting disappointed because I thought it was going to be something different, and it's become a Golden Castle, Stromberg, Gren, Maju, Eiza type deck, which is very disappointing to see, because honestly, those type of strategies aren't fun, and they're not really that fun to go against either. So realistically, I don't think that this deck is going to do much. It just feels overly pushed for no reason, and I think it's going to be another issue where it's going to be on the lines of Cool Tune meet Enneacraft, where it's going to be there, but not many people are going to play it. Now, I hope that Raise Moon is going to be better than this, because right now I don't see anything from Xenovader Delta going to do anything at all. I could be being a little harsh on this, but in my honest opinion, I don't think that this deck is going to be worth it in the future to run, especially with the type of gimmick that it has. And we've seen it time and time again. When they try and push a certain gimmick, it sometimes just never works, like we saw with Grelin Castle Stromberg, and even Nemreli does the same thing, and it just doesn't do anything. But tell me what you guys think about the Xenovader Delta archetype down in the comments below, because honestly, I'm just super disappointed in it, and I'm definitely going to be skipping it, and hopefully Raise Moon is going to be the deck that catches my eye. Thank you for watching this video. If you guys did enjoy it, hit that like button down below, and if you want to see future content from my channel, hit that subscribe button as well. And YouTube is really stingy on things, so hit that notification bell to get notified whenever I upload. And I would like to give a shout out to my channel members, FGH, for helping support the channel, and if you want to do so as well, it's only 99 cents a month. You can also join the Discord server down in the description below. There's a link that is linked to it that you can join and talk to other users of the community. But anyways, thank you all for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.